game developers of an amazing new game that's about to come out in a few weeks, and of course representatives from OUYA. I'm going to do some quick intros, but this is the first time we've had OUYA in the house. In his house.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're going to get to, I'm sure everyone at home is going to have a ton of questions for you, for all of you. I'm going to start right here in the driver's seat. We've got David, who's the founder and co-creator just the creator. No, co-creator?
Yeah, co-creator.
Co-creator at Nightlight Interactive. We've got Kyle, who is the, you're the writer. That's right, I was supposed to remember the mustache equals writer. You're the writer of this game, Whispering Willows, which we're about to preview tonight, get a very special sneak peek. We have Leaf, who is the marketing manager. Yes, I nailed that one.
Nice.
We have Amanda, who's the artist. And we have Kelly and Jared from OUYA.
Hey everyone.
Ooh. Yeah. I have no idea where to look in this room.
Yeah,
It's like
pretty much anywhere.
pretty sweet setup.
Yeah. So we're gonna switch over to the gameplay so that they can preview the game for you guys. And meanwhile, they're going to be answering questions. This is a virtual hangout, so they're here for you. And I heard a rumor that we may give away an OUYA tonight. Can anyone substantiate that rumor?
One maybe.
We can neither deny
I
or
have one
confirm.
in the bag.
But yes, welcome to our house,
Thank you.
our humble abode.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we're looking at, among other games, but mainly Whispering Willows tonight, which is a highly anticipated, very beautiful title. It's very haunting. It's very dramatic. Can you give us a brief summary of what we're previewing tonight for the fine folk at home? Meanwhile, I'm going to crank up the volume on this because I'm realizing we're missing all your beautiful sound design
Yeah, definitely.
and music, but they can hear it at home.
So Whispering Willows is a horror adventure game coming out for the OUYA as well as Steam. And you play as Elena, who is able to astral project with her spirit. You can see it glowing right now. It glows in the presence of spirits. And so she discovers she has this power kind of once she comes to this old mansion grounds. She's here looking for her father, who is lost right now. And so you awaken in the catacombs, which we'll see in a second, and you're totally lost, confused, trying to find your father, and you have this crazy new power that you can astral project your spirit. You want to add anything into that?
I'm going to crank
That's
this
basically
up.
the scenario what we're doing. We were
Sorry,
looking
I slipped right
to
past
have
you.
some
Come on
a
over.
really good, interesting setting for players to play in, and some cool characters
Gotcha.
for them to meet
Go.
and get to know as well.
So I just want to point out, we have some fine folk here in Skype who are tuning in real time, so they can chime in and pipe up whenever they have a
Hey,
question.
Skype people.
Hey everyone.
I can look over there too.
Up there as well.
Whoa.
Yep.
Look, everyone.
Oh wow.
Easy one.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Is it too loud?
That's the station identification. Will come through that.
Oh, I see. So it's up. The volume is up on this one. Awesome.
Skype is up here.
Cool. Yes, and Moobot, who's in the chat, he's a robot. So
Is he also a cow? A cow bot?
Hi,
He is a
Moobot.
cowbot. He's being kind to us now until the eminent robot takeover, but pay attention whenever Moobot pops up, because Moobot will give you some handy links to purchase the game, to preview the game, to check out Nightlight Interactive's various product offerings, and I believe it'll also display some links to OUYA as well. So there you go.
Yeah, just quick
Fantastic.
correction. It is available on OUYA right now.
Oh,
The
right
game.
now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
if you like what you see and you have an OUYA, you
Very
can totally
cool.
play.
Currently,
Nice.
and we just updated today, and so the entire game is now up on OUYA. So, and if you
Beautiful.
speak French, Spanish, Italian, German, we have translations in all those languages. So,
And it's now free to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The demo's up now too.
here's all the official. Oh, and Russian. Can't forget about Russian.
No Japanese.
No Japanese
yet.
at the moment.
Oh.
In
Kyle, do you want to explain why we can't do Japanese and Chinese, and do you know why?
No, I don't know why we can't do
They actually
Japanese and
have
Chinese.
a strong aversion to any skulls,
Oh,
bones, blood, ghosts, and that's basically what our game is about.
I
so
thought that was just Chinese.
it might
It might
actually
just be Chinese, 'cause-
Really?
but
Yeah, I mean, you've
Yeah.
seen the
Yeah,
ring,
Chinese.
right?
so maybe we'll do Japanese then.
Yeah, the Chinese are a cowardly and superstitious lot. No, they're not. Why did I say that?
I've
No,
seen
that's-
Mulan. They
wait,
just honor
wait.
their
That's
ancestors.
criminals. My bad.
Oh, God.
I could say that. I am Chinese. So. No, I can't say it in any case.
Because I was going to say that Japan does a lot of gore and blood and all that.
That's
Yeah,
true.
they
That's
do.
right.
Right.
Some of the best horror. Fatal Frame is one of my favorite games.
Oh, that was terrifying.
So
go
just
ahead.
playing this intro again for you guys, in case you missed it the first time. Basically, newspaper clipping at the beginning was showing that her father is missing, and this is her exploring the mansion grounds where her father works.
Any plans to release this in any Arabic languages? Asked Kyle.
Honestly, we would love to do it in as many languages, bring it to as many parts of the world as we can. The biggest difficulty is just finding translators and honestly being able to afford it. We are lucky enough to have, for all the languages that we have so far, fantastic translators that completely volunteered their time to bring
Wow.
the game. They're just very passionate about the game, and they wanted to bring it to their language. So if you guys or anyone you know would like it to bring it to a language that it's not on already, please shoot us a message. You can message us at support@nightlightint.com, and we would love to include any languages that we don't currently support right now. Whoa.
There's
You've
a-
been roboted.
Let's move on.
You're gonna have to restart your stream because you sound like a Decepticon, my friend.
Not an Autobot.
So we just fell down into.
Still,
I know you sound like a robot.
Sound wave.
still an Autobot. Yeah.
So we fell down into these catacombs, kind of through that hole.
Please hang up and call right back.
Yeah. Please hang up and call.
So Elena can't really move on through the catacombs until she finds her dad's amulet that he gave her when she was younger.
It fell off her as she went down this drop here, but luckily it's just right here. So do you want to talk about kind of the amulet's powers and the source of the power?
Sure. The amulet is actually kind of a relic of her ancestors, of Elena's ancestors, and she's part Native American, as you'll find out through the course of the game. And so she's actually, descendant of kind of shamanic people, and so she's able to use the amulet to help boost her powers a little bit and help her actually convene with the spirit world.
And she doesn't know any of this until basically when the game's starting, when it starts reacting to that initial spirit that you saw, and now you're going to see it react even more. This is all kind of new, very, very new to her. But her father, we learn, may know more about this, and I mean, he passed it down to her, so. So in this classic adventure games, there is a lot of backstory you can read if you want. It's optional throughout, but I definitely recommend it if you love a great story. Kyle crafted a fantastic story throughout, but there's also just lots of objects in the environment that you can inspect and kind of just get a more deeper understanding of the world that we've created.
We really wanted to make Elena seem like a really, really full-fledged character, so we tried to include as many instances of her as possible throughout the game.
Now, how long has this game been in development?
We started, we actually were initially inspired by OUYA's Kickstarter, which was, how long ago was that?
That would have been about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years ago in July.
About 2 years ago, we started just conceptualizing, and for about half a year, it was just all on paper, kind of just concepting out basically ideas that we had for the game. And then we've actually been in development starting around, I guess it would have been January 2013. OUYA was having a game jam, and we decided to start actually making a prototype for it to enter into the game jam. And so we started development January 2013.
Very cool.
So we've just someone's speaking to her, and but we're not sure who it is yet. And she's hearing this kind of it's a very powerful spirit. You want to say how he's able to?
Sure. Flying Hawk is actually different, or you're going to find out it's Flying Hawk, sorry, from most other ghosts because he's not just a regular ghost, he's actually one of her ancestors. He's one of those shamanic people that I mentioned. And because of that, he's able to deal with the living world a little bit differently, as you'll find, since Elena is kind of able to talk to him without even going into astral projection.
And as you'll see later on, the rest of the ghosts in the game, she needs to be a spirit to talk to them. But as Kyle just said, he's more powerful, and so he's able to speak to them or speak to her, when she can't even see him yet. But now we can see him in all of his glory. He has cool Indian mask on and horns.
Riveting, our set price for the game is $14.99 across all the console, across OUYA and Steam.
Hello, Greg.
Leaf, you're welcome to verbally. Any of you guys can answer the questions as we're playing through this.
Guru, I just wanted to read Guru's comment here. OUYA team, I wanted to thank you for all the free adult beverages at E3 2013.
I saw that.
I love them. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So right now, Flying Hawk is basically telling Elena a little bit about her amulet and who he is, and that he's gonna kind of hang out with you. And so we've got Flying Hawk hanging out in our inventory with us here.
Riveting. It was actually, we already made it through Greenlight, and the game will be up on Steam July 9th. We were approved several months ago.
Score.
Yeah, we felt the same thing.
And you want to talk about the wisp?
Yeah. So when Elena is in her astral projection form and she's going towards these areas and walls that you can move through, her ghost becomes more of a wisp to represent that kind of that effect of going through a small area or going through a wall.
And then possession.
Yeah. Oh, and possession's a fun part of the game that we really liked to include, where you'll take control of certain objects and you can slide some of them around or move them or use them to flip switches and things like that throughout the game.
We really wanted to.
Just 1 second, we're going to break for station identification.
Twin Galaxies.
When we conceptualized the game, we really wanted to think of interesting powers that we could use kind of as a ghost that would make it unique and really impact design. And so two, as Kyle said, is she can go through these small cracks, and then also just that she can possess objects and interact with objects. So for this first thing here, this door was locked, but then as her ghost, she was able to get through that crack, possess the switch, and then open the door for her human body.
Now, Kuragari mentioned that it's got a bit of an Avatar Princess Mononoke feel. Amanda, would you like to say something about that?
I love both of those. I personally, for Elena's hair in the concept that I did for Elena, I was inspired by anime, mostly like Miyazaki movies, because their hair is always moving around.
Fantastic.
Thought it would be cool when she goes into spirit form for her hair to like fly up, because
you can see when we did the hair animation too, we really wanted it to be like almost like she was swimming underwater and her hair is kind of flowing almost like it's in water, going kind of slow motion. So.
And Kuragari, it would be cool to do a 3DS game. One of the reasons that we were doing the OUYA, for instance, is because it's really hard to get on a console, and they have been amazing with us and really helped us to make our game. Oh, it's amazing! You guys are amazing. We love you guys so much.
We love you guys too.
Yeah, they treated us like gold since day one.
So as cool as it would be to get on a 3DS, it's really, really hard, but that's okay.
You have to kind of be an established developer, and so OUYA was a great first step for us as an indie developer studio to really kind of get our game out there and get exposure, and then from there, we'll be able to go to other consoles hopefully someday. But
cool.
And Teku, as far as a basic idea of interacting with spirits and helping them a little bit to move on into their afterlife, I suppose you could say it is a little like Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective, but it's kind of a common theme in a lot of things dealing with spirits.
Oh, somebody in the Skype has got a speaker on, and it's creating a feedback loop. It looks like it's camera 4.
But it's kind of a common theme in a lot of
So you might want to mute yourself.
Hopefully, Kurgar,
or we will be
very
forced
cool.
to mute you.
creating a feedback.
Thank you.
So
There we go.
throughout the game, we've also got notes that are in the perspective written by the various main characters of the game that you can read through to help you learn a little bit more about it. So we have Worth and Willows, for instance, here, and he's the kind of progenitor of the mansion and our antagonist, and you learn a lot about him and his life and his relationship with the various characters in the history of the mansion. And from Flying Hawk, you kind of learn about the Native Americans' perspective as far as the white man and their presence in their lands.
I think one of the things that makes Whispering Willows really stand out, especially in this genre, is all the attention to detail that you have. Like and I've played through the game a few times myself now through the course of development. But there's always like new things to discover, and the story has little nuances, and the way they've constructed a story to sort of have the pieces connect together are things that I think you can enjoy through repeated playthroughs, or just like if you're one of those kind of people that like really like to go in depth as you play. Whereas I think a lot of the games in this genre especially can be somewhat very just very shallow and like key and lock puzzles, and I just like the discovery element of this game.
Well, thank
Very
you.
cool.
We definitely, I mean, even just starting with the design, the initial designs and the art in particular, just put huge emphasis. Oh, and even storyline. Like with our storyline, Kyle wrote this huge, like 20-page backstory just to establish the universe, and none of it even made it into the game, but it was a good kind of setting and foundation in which we based the game.
It was like 40 pages.
40 pages. And then for art assets, for instance, you'll notice there are some repeating art assets, but there's so many unique art assets in this game. We had a team of, we've probably had throughout this game probably 10 or 15 artists working on it. And I mean, some of these assets, even just, something as simple as a crate or a torch, artists have spent, 5-10 hours working on some of these things. So it's really been incredible, and it's brought a level of detail to the game. I mean, even just like in this wall, this angel right here, just how much detail is put into every little place.
And most of them also had full-time jobs, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So really, this has been a labor of love.
Yeah, I had a
Very
full-time job while I was doing a lot of the art. A lot of the portraits in the game are mine too, and each of those probably took about like at least 4 hours, if not like 6 hours.
Yeah.
But it's a passion.
Yeah, you
Very
can feel it in the game.
Sanger Banger is loving the lighting. It looks like you guys are making quite an impression with the art. Who was it? I saw another very positive. Oh, Capista says, "Whoa, this game looks awesome." I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. I kind of forgot what I was gonna say, but that's okay.
I just want to talk about this puzzle real quick.
Do it.
So, again, what Elena right now just got to a locked door, and so we need to figure out a way to get to the other side. And just by interacting with the environment, I'm seeing that, I'm kind of pointing out this ceiling crack right here. And so if just like the other crack, if you go up here as your spirit, you can actually fly through this crack here and get to this kind of, this is a fun area. This is like, beneath like the roots of a tree with, it looks like maybe a cave in over to the side here. Something our art director tried to do, Mike Shanks, as he was creating this game, is really visually tell a story. And so, you'll come up, there's another spot that we saw where it was like broken through the wall and there was like blood smeared all around. It kind of makes you just think like, what's the side story to all this? What caused this?
Cool.
something we really wanted to work on as far as ingraining our story into our game world was not only just having those details in like notes and things like that, but working with our artists and our level designers and stuff like that, our art director, to include these small little slight details that have these nuances of story.
Very cool.
And there is, Kyle Katarn, a way to pre-order the game on Steam. As of yesterday, I believe you're able to pre-order on Steam.
Actually,
oh no,
revoke that.
Oh damn.
No, you actually can't order on Steam yet.
Pre-order?
You can't even pre-order.
Oh.
You'll be able to start buying on July 9th. There won't be a pre-order on Steam. What we do have is, as we said, you can buy the full game on OUYA today and get what I'm playing right now. Everything I'm playing is from the full version of the game, and then you can also pre-order the game on our website for PC, Mac, and Linux. And that will actually give you a Steam code later on. So it's not officially pre-ordering from the Steam website, it's going through our website, which is nightlightinteractive.com. Or actually,
Just
what
popped up on the screen.
Moobot just posted is even
Thanks, Moobot.
more
Thank
accurate.
you. Wow, Moobot's taking your job.
On it. Will you ask or will you select YouTubers to be able to show the game?
We actually are very, very... Actually, Leaf, would you like to talk about
talk
letting
about our
YouTubers show
outreach.
our game?
Oh yeah, we love it when YouTubers show our game.
But talk about who we've already set up and started talking with and what
there's
we'd like to do.
There's one streamer, Wardfire. She's awesome. She's been doing videos of our games since like we first came out. And we just recently learned about another guy that's been putting together walkthroughs of the game. So if you get stuck at all, you can figure out how to beat the game, because he pretty much played the game from beginning to end. He just posted the last video of Chapter 4 up there today.
Wow.
Yeah, so if anyone gets stuck, I think that Wardfire put up a walkthrough too. So yeah, it's like 2 full walkthroughs, which is pretty cool to see. And then actually just today, we've been going through lists and contacting YouTubers that we feel are relevant. If you guys have any suggestions, please send it to us, your friends or you personally, or just people you think we'd be a good fit for. We're looking for people that play indie games, people that play horror games, people that like a lot of story in their games. And so we actually reached out to a bunch of YouTubers today, and we'll continue reaching out, because I think the best way is to kind of share this with the community and have kind of the community give their feedback collectively.
Very cool. Now you don't have any fears of... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, we also had a nice stream with Tiny Pixels on Twitch as well. So anyone else on Twitch that wants to pick it up and play, go for it.
Nice.
Tiny Pixels actually does an OUYA stream, Twitch stream, every week, right? Every Thursday.
Yeah, every Thursday, OUYA Thursdays.
So Elena's amulet will glow, just like it will glow blue when there's a good spirit nearby. It'll actually glow red when there's a bad spirit. And so we see this shaking cage right here. And she's like, why is this cage moving? And if we astral project here, we can actually see a little creature in here.
Spider, I'm gone. Bye, guys.
And so this is kind of just a glimpse of one of the enemies that we have later on. Right now, fortunately, it can't get to you, but you don't want to, come across this guy later.
Can you set this particular one on fire? No, just kidding.
No, you cannot set it on fire. But you'll notice something interesting, that just like spirits, you can only see it when you're in ghost form. So that's kind of a pro trick for later on. And we'll see as we walk forward here, our amulet's actually going to change to blue, because now we're actually near a good spirit. And this inspection right here is showing that a creature was trying to get through the ceiling. So we will, and actually I guess successfully did make it through the ceiling, because there's a hole here. Kyle, do you want to maybe talk about Anastasia?
Sure. Our game has gone through a lot of interesting characters throughout development. Anastasia was actually one of our first characters, and every single one of the characters in the game actually has a full backstory that's at least 1,200 words, 2,000 words. So this guy, he's got a full backstory. He's from Italy originally. He moved here with his father. And anyway, you don't need to know all about that.
Well, how can people get all that? Is there a way that they can access that?
Actually, they can't. A lot of the little bits of story like that didn't really make it in the game. It was really I mean, pretty much nobody's read it except for me. It was just me wanting to flesh out the game and make it as complete and real feeling as possible.
It really helped with Kyle kind of setting all this backstory for all the characters and environments. It really helped him tie together a world that felt more cohesive because he had done kind of all this research and just mentally thinking through these different relationships with people. So this guy was a miner, and that's why, you know, he's down here. Or, sorry, he planned out the mines.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I thought the distinction that you had to make there. He's a miner. Right.
The other guy, I don't know if you saw the guy earlier, Ming, he got impaled by a beam, so he was actually one of the miners down here.
Something I tried to do with a lot with this story here is not shy away from certain historical details, like oppression of various races and immigrants and things like that. So Ming Zhang is one of many, many casualties of, I'm sure, a lot of immigrant workers back in that era, which is the game. The history of the game is technically set like 1850 to 1900 or so.
And
got it. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna, before it disappears, a comment from Guru Randall.
Yeah, I was just gonna point that out.
Voting for a Star Wars style screen scroll of 40 pages of backstory.
I don't know if we have that much, but there, as you're going, as Kyle said, there are these diary entries that Elena will write herself. We won't read them all now, but you guys can on your free time. And then
What?
And then these notes that you'll find from these different characters. So it's not 40 pages, you know, it's maybe 40 pages total or 50 pages. But we do have quite a bit of backstory for each of these different ghosts, so you can get the full experience. But again, completely optional, so if you're just like someone that wants to blow through the game and just solve the puzzles, you're free to do that as well.
Story time. We can talk about dead people. Bring your kids.
Talk about murder.
Yay.
So there was a switch that I had just hit on that other room right above that creature, and it actually just opened this door here. And so we'll see what's on the other side.
This is scary, guys.
It's by,
Just wait till
you
you're
know,
playing by yourself.
it's by a tomb. Nothing can go wrong here.
Nothing.
Right.
Good.
Absolutely nothing.
Just got the key. I'm getting out of here.
But actually, if any of you guys have seen Indiana Jones, when you remove the Forsaken object,
She
It's
should
an
have
idol.
had a sack
Idol.
of sand
Idol.
roughly the same weight.
Go watch it. Oh gosh.
Oh no! Oh god, that thing looks.
should we try to fight it or
Fight it?
Fight,
Always
fight,
try to fight it.
Wait, only ghosts can fight ghosts. You
go
gotta go
wrong.
astral projection.
Do it.
Got it. Oh
And actually, it's completely ignoring
Oh no!
the spirit right now.
Go.
Oh my god! Get back in the body!
But
Oh.
Elena is not so fortunate. So Elena has to leave her body sometimes when these creatures are going around, and her body is completely vulnerable to them. And so you have to either strategically place her or just be quick to be able to get around, you know, when they're coming out. So we're gonna try this again.
I see Sarah.
There are no Scooby-Doo Easter eggs, but we actually do have a lot of Easter eggs we put in the game. Maybe I'll show you guys one if you're good. Oh wait, gotta show you why we can't go through here. So this door is locked right now.
Oh god.
And now I might have actually wasted too much time. But what we can do is we can fly.
Oh, it's
across
terrifying.
Is it too
Come on,
close?
go,
Oh
go,
god.
go, go, go,
Oh
go.
Jesus.
Can we give any hints on possible Easter eggs?
Oh
Okay, we'll get this last time. We have a Mario Easter egg. We're trying to do inclusions of other ghost things. And so we actually, a lot of our achievements have ghosts in them. I think there's like what, Leaf, you want to talk about some of the achievements?
Some of the achievements. We got some exciting ones. A lot of them just involve like trying to find each ghost.
Definitely not show it. You can.
We have a special, really special achievement that it's going to take a long time for everyone to get, where you have to go find every journal entry, every
Tell
single
them how.
And
It's just a special one.
if you can remember what I just said,
Can you lock it in? Can you lock it in there?
No,
Yeah.
we
More
can't.
to it though.
You can actually lock it in, can't you? Yeah. No, that's actually one of the ways to defeat the ghost.
Ah.
So
What
we
about a
escaped them.
ghost dead Easter egg?
Yeah.
Anybody?
what?
Ghost dead? You
Yeah.
youngsters.
Elena's in shape. She's like
went
13
right
year
over
old,
my head.
so she's definitely has like PE in class, which
Yeah.
keeps
Great
kids in
choice.
shape.
Yeah, right. She just has
Ghostbusters.
to.
Weird.
We do have-
she
Oh
has
yeah,
to
we
go
do
through
have
sludge.
There's a
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Ghost
Sludge
Rider?
machine.
Do we still have a Ghost Rider Easter
Have a
egg?
Ghost Rider.
We have a Ghost Rider Easter egg.
Whoa.
Did any of you remember
I heard
that?
a rumor you were potentially doing an amazing frog thing.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we do have that.
We-
in
Oh
there.
wow.
We had a great time with the guys at GDC. What's the studio's name?
Feiju.
Feiju, and they have this fantastic game called Amazing
I was
Frog.
just playing that last night.
And so we decided to. They're basically going to have an Elena skin in their game. You play as a frog running around, and so you actually one frog has her hood on in her backpack, and then the other frog is like flying above her head. It's super ridiculous. You have to see it. I think that's going to be in their next patch, and then we are also going to have an achievement for them in our game, as well as a frog that you can find in our game. So we like to do cross promotion stuff with other indie devs.
Very cool.
You guys have a lot of cool ideas for
I know, we need-
like Easter eggs.
Someone needs to go through and write down all these ideas for Easter eggs.
I don't know what the Cosby one would be. Are there ghosts in the Cosby Show?
He was the star.
Ghost
Ghost
Dad.
Dad.
Oh.
Exploration Rudy.
So we just made it outside. Totally
She wears
different
a-
environment.
There you
now.
go.
So actually, it's pretty funny. We used to get so many compliments on the catacombs, and people were like, "Oh, the catacombs! It's so beautiful." After playing, the first demo of our game, the first part,
And we're just like,
and they're like,
"Just
"You
wait,
haven't even
just-
seen the
just wait."
gardens."
This
now
is
she's
one of
in
my
the world
favorite
of
spots.
Yeah.
Altered Beast.
There you go.
just kidding
Nice.
now.
Nice. Feel great.
Yeah.
And so, do you want to talk about all the different places you can?
Yeah, we wanted to make what we're walking around in is kind of a part of. It's not really. It's separate from what we call our overworld. And so we have this overworld which you can walk around in, and it's got the mansion and some other little places. But there are also different sections of the mansion grounds that you can go to, like what we're in right now, which is kind of like the garden area. And you have the catacombs as well, and you have a few different places. And each of these places really kind of highlights certain events that occurred there, and they help to fully round out the story and this environment as being as a fully realized place.
They're talking about werewolves now. And
The Winchester.
The
It's funny you say the
Winchester
Winchester brothers because if any of you have heard of the Winchester Mystery House, which is a place in San Jose,
It's amazing.
California. It's actually a mansion that was owned by the Lady Winchester. I don't know her first name, and she went super crazy and thought that all the ghosts of the Winchester that were killed by the Winchester arms were haunting her mansion. So she kept building and building random things like cupboards that go to nowhere, stairs that go to nothing. It's a crazy place, and we actually used a little bit of as
wow.
we've said for that.
Did very recently they now allow people to stay there. It's now a hotel that
They do
you can
night
bed
tours
and
and
breakfast
everything.
there.
Oh, we
Yeah.
should do that.
That'd be fun.
Totally should.
That'd be crazy.
that'd be.
That
I
would be
guess
awesome.
once the
Yeah.
game launches on Steam, that'll be our. We'll all go there.
Broadcast from the Winchester house.
Oh, that'd
Does
be
anyone
great.
can anyone tell us how Wi-Fi is over there?
Probably dead. Oh, jeez. Thank you. I'm here for a couple hours.
And so again, these are just everyone she's meeting along the way. These are people that died on the mansion grounds somehow, but they all kind of just give a little bit of backstory to, what's going on. Either that ghost in particular, that's actually Kyle's brother. We did some ghosts off of real people.
Kickstarter backers.
Yeah,
Wow.
our Kickstarter backers, they gave certain amounts at a certain pledge level. We made portraits, we made ghosts, we made Easter eggs for people, so it was pretty cool. So this room here, this is the observatory, which doesn't look like much of one now, but hold on. Let's go upstairs. And this is actually...
And some of the ghosts are Kickstarter backers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Kickstarter backer ghosts.
I love this room, by the way, though.
This is
The whole-
another Kickstarter
Yeah,
backer
that's
ghost.
amazing.
Oh.
Actually.
Yeah, this
And
is one of my favorite parts of the game,
Yeah.
actually.
oh, the
This
observatory.
is like one of my favorite screenshots.
Yeah.
Mine too. Yeah.
And are those their names? Their actual names?
No, I changed their names.
But
To protect their identity.
talk about how you named some of the people.
Okay, so let's see.
Do you remember Les Rivers? It was Max Dawson.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was the
So
guy's name?
I'm a horrible person, and I play around with words a lot. And so this guy's name was Max Dawson. He was one of our Kickstarter backers. Awesome. I wrote a little story for him in the game, and also when I made his character in the game, we changed it to Les Rivers because Les is the opposite of Max. And and a Dawson
Dawson's
reminded me
Creek.
of Dawson's Creek, so I was like Rivers works out. So there's a lot of weird like little things with names that no one will ever have any idea the insanity that went into my brain to create these names. Like it's weird characters.
Riveting is wondering, have you guys thought about any possible DLC for the game?
Leaf, do you want to talk about that?
Talk about what?
Possible DLC?
Any possible?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, we've thought about a lot of possible DLC, but we don't have anything in the works quite yet. We do have, we'll be releasing a special edition on Steam.
Cool.
That will give people a wallpaper, a digital art book, and
Soundtrack.
and a soundtrack.
It's possible, I guess, that we could include some more story stuff in there. I could
Yeah.
just like,
That's where the loads of DLC came in.
oh yeah, loads.
We'll have
Just-
a chapter
in
5,
terms
6,
of
7.
in terms of adding more storyline to the game, we actually have the game fully wrap up at the end of this, and we don't plan on continuing this storyline at current moment. Whether we'll take a different approach in someone else's, kind of life that we can experience in a different Whispering Willows, maybe. But as of now, this storyline is locked.
Cool.
Looks like you got a new friend.
Terrifying. Now, everyone at home, just a quick reminder, we do have 2 reps from OUYA as well here, sitting in the back, just chilling, straight lounging. So if you have questions about that system, you can chime in and ask away, and I'm sure they'll have some answers for you. I'm making an assumption that you might have answers.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Not a big assumption.
But I have.
You know everything about Ghost Dad. That's about it.
Movie rules.
Playing as the father would be an interesting perspective to play the story from. You'd learn some more about the mansion and stuff like that. That'd be cool.
You probably
There
have
are a
enough
lot.
content to do like a series of prequel graphic novels to this, right?
That would
There
be
you go.
neat. That'd be neat.
We have
That'd be
enough
awesome.
artwork for sure.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I'd be happy to do that. That's a good idea.
Says for someone that does not know, or that does know what OUYA is, can you explain real fast?
I'm
Can you
assuming
guys
they're
just-
asking for someone who doesn't know.
I think doesn't know is what they
Yes.
meant. Yeah.
Okay. So OUYA is a Android-based TV console. It's inexpensive. There's the controller right there. It's for retail right now at $99, which includes the controller. And what I think is really awesome about OUYA is they were talking a little bit earlier is that it's an open platform. So similar to like mobile and PC, like anyone can publish a game on OUYA, and it's also just purely games focused, really. Yeah, that's in a nutshell.
Pretty much, yeah, every console is a developer kit. So once you have a console,
Yeah.
you can start developing right away. It's 100% free to sign up to be a developer. So all of our tools and ODK stuff is all free to download. We support a variety of engines from Unity, Corona, Unreal, Game Maker, Mono Game, you name it, we pretty much support it. And because of that ease of development, I think we're on our way to about 900 games on the platform, probably in the end of the month or so.
Very cool.
And everything's digitally distributed, so they also tend to be in the less expensive price range. So games from like $2 to $20 is pretty much the average, and most of them are also free to try.
We actually just put up a demo for Whispering Willows today, or yesterday, and so now Whispering Willows is now free to try on OUYA as well. You get up to right around where we met that little girl and got the bucket. That's where the demo will end. All of this, I'm going to finish playing through the first chapter of the game. All of this is if you purchase the full thing.
And I saw Heart of Tanks was writing that OUYA console is based on the Google Play Store. Every game on the console is built in Android, but we do not support the Google Play Store. Actually, it's probably about a majority of our games are not even based off of mobile games. They're pretty much all either original games made for the console. There's other games that are on PC as well, but yeah, it's only relation to Google Play is that the games are all built in Android.
So Guru has posted a link there for you to check out the OUYA. It's a direct link, so clickety-click. Take you right over there. You'll have more info.
And no worries, Heart of Tanks.
Yeah.
So right now we're
I have a
walking.
question, if I may.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Cypher. Hey, I was wondering if you guys are out on OUYA in this game. Does that mean this game will be PC?
Correct.
Yeah, Leaf, do you want to answer that?
What was I couldn't?
I think he's saying it's on OUYA now, but will it be on PC?
Yeah, currently it is on PC, Mac, and Linux via our website, nightlightinteractive.com. And it'll also be coming to Steam on July 9th.
And if you purchase on our website, you'll get a Steam code when it comes out for Steam.
Yeah.
And Riveting,
Gotcha.
when we say it's built in Android, what we mean by that is the kind of like what the source code eventually reads to process the game and everything like that. iOS and Android and Windows, they are all based on different programming shells, you could say. And so our engine that we use is actually Unity, which is a great engine, and you can use it to port out to all these different styles like Android or iOS or Windows or for the OUYA.
And I don't know if this was just mentioned, but OUYA has their own storefront.
So here's another aspect of the fun possession that you can do in the game, right here. And
this dresser was actually blocking the door, and she couldn't open it because the door opens outward. And so we're going to possess the dresser here and move it away from the door, so that we can now get through.
That's awesome.
well, the cool thing about Unity and actually most game engines is that you can load 2D or 3D inside of it. 2D is, we wanted to work in 2D because it's much easier to work in. It worked better for our concept, and we have some amazing 2D artists, as you can see from the art in our game. So it's really versatile, actually.
So right now we're in the guest house. Again, Kyle mentioned there's a lot of areas kind of. First we started below the mansion. These are the mansion grounds and just the stuff that's on the mansion grounds. And so this is just one of the guest houses, actually the original house that the owner wore.
I was noting there's a girl's profile in the peeling wallpaper. Is that an actual thing, or is he starting to hallucinate?
Oh.
Are you talking about the different paintings for Everplay? If there are a lot of we do have a lot of paintings in the game that are, some are based on real people and some are fictional people, but I think probably a lot of the portraits that you see are real people that are Kickstarter backers.
Gross.
Yeah, she has some boils or something.
Yeah, she got attacked by a bunch of spiders.
Oh, nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll go back to the dresser in a second.
One of the fun parts about writing for
Everplay knows what he's talking about.
One of the fun parts about writing for this game is I got to be really creative with kind of just how people died, which is kind of messed up, but it's kind of fun at the same time because you get to research crazy ways that people have and can die, and like if somebody fell from this height, which bones would break, you know? So it's kind of weird writing for games, but it's fun.
Also researching back in the day what people used to die from that they don't really die from now.
Measles.
Yeah.
You
We're
just play
checking
Oregon
out.
Trail. It's got all
That's
the disease.
true.
He says
Dysentery,
there's
everybody.
Can you guys see it? He says in the peeling wallpaper.
Hey.
I guess maybe there's an outline of a girl.
Oh, maybe up there. Almost.
That one
I
at
don't
the
know.
top?
I don't know.
I
That was
don't
not
see it,
intentional. If
but-
there's anything, it's just like clouds in
Okay,
the sky.
stop.
Yeah.
Right here.
This is like a Rorschach.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. Maybe the art director did
Oh, I
plan
don't
it.
On the right. Pointing to the sconce. Ooh.
Hi, JP.
Oh, like right here, maybe.
Oh, I see her kissing right here. Oh, I don't know.
I guess.
Like, now I'm just seeing all sorts of weird stuff
I know.
inside of these.
If you look too hard, you can find some crazy stuff. Like
Kim
that.
Jong.
I can actually see what. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know why. I just can.
They got it.
They
Like,
discovered
I
the Easter egg.
played it 100 times. Yeah, that was the Easter egg.
Oh, and Cypher, the website, it's OUYA.tv, OUYA.tv.
There it is.
Boom.
Slam.
And so we like to just have fun with people, and so this is actually a maze that we made for your wisp to go through. So.
Oh, cool.
This definitely feels like the Ode to Metroid section.
Yeah,
which I love.
this is definitely an ode to Metroid. When you're like a little ball.
Oh, awesome. Oh, that's a big question. And you could always peek over there if you miss anything up on the screen.
Looks like
here.
there's an OUYA question for you.
Oh, yes.
I don't fully understand how the system works. If you have OUYA and you download the game, can you just take it anywhere and plug it in and play, or do you need internet? It seems like something portable and fun to take with me on vacation, and easily plugging it to the TV or taking it to a friend's house.
Yeah, pretty much most games do, unless, I don't know, is there any DRM stuff with Whispering Willows? Or
No,
Nope.
the first time you load up Whispering Willows, you need to have an internet connection. It'll do one initial check, and then after that, you can play offline the rest of your life. If one of you guys wants to, on that bag over there,
Which bag?
the far left one on the couch,
Yeah.
we can actually show you guys what the OUYA looks like. I have an extra one here.
And Rividian, that's an interesting question about giving someone permission to make the game in 3D. I don't think anyone would ever really want to take that staggering amount of time to remake.
If they
a
did,
game.
please talk to me about it. That'd be an interesting conversation to have.
It'd be cool to see if they could even rival how well our artists
Wow.
did the assets in this game.
This
They
is
did a
how
really
this is how
cool-
small the OUYA is. If you want to hold it up for
About
whatever
the
the
size
best.
of a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, just the size
Wow.
of Rubik's Cube, and then they have their own controllers as well.
But a
So
lot more fun than Rubik's Cube.
one of the best
That's one.
one of the best parts about the OUYA is the portability. And I mean, literally, here's the whole console right here.
It's a
and this
shoebox.
is a shoebox. You know, even less if I wanted to. So.
And it's quite hackable. A lot of games either support, or you can just hook up 360 or PS3 controllers to play as well. So you're more than welcome to buy more controllers, or you can try hooking up whatever you have at home.
Awesome.
Yeah, when we have 4 players, for a lot of the OUYA games, I do 2 OUYA controllers and 2 PlayStation 3 controllers. So.
Amazing.
Yay, it's Buford.
Yeah, this was talking about Kickstarter backers. This was our programmer's dog.
Oh.
And then another fun thing. This is kind of an Easter egg.
Oh.
So when you're
HDMI
a
output.
spirit, it's the kind of looks like she's about to get killed by a vampire or something.
Yeah.
It's like the Haunted Mansion.
Well, Ravidian, if you'd like to know about our history in game design, actually all 4 of us went to CSU Chico in Northern California, and they had a program that primarily focused on 3D development, and they also had classes in game development, game design, and our program was called Applied Computer Graphics. And so it dealt with 3D, 2D, Photoshop stuff, but there were also areas you could go in that focused in programming, or focused in studio art, or focused in other realms of media production, like sound design or website creation and stuff like that. Yep, Chico. So we all went there together, and that's where we all met. And it, yeah.
And now we're all in LA.
Yeah.
We kind of the big places to go you know, if you're going to create video games, is, you know, one of the main ones is L.A. or Austin, Texas,
San
or
Francisco.
San Francisco or Seattle, and we all ended up in L.A.
Nice.
So I don't know if you guys have been following the story at all, but this guy, he's a musician, a piano player down here, but he was missing his sheet music, and so we just got it in another room. We're gonna give it to him right now.
Hey, Sanger Banger, I'm actually from Madeira. That's cool.
Now, were the backers able to give you some kind of like detail about themselves that they wanted incorporated?
So this ghost right here is actually, this is one of our best friends. His name is David, and Kyle, do you want to talk about kind of the process you let them go through?
Yeah, basically we asked backers a few things about themselves, like what kind of person did they want to be, like what profession, basically, if they wanted any other details about themselves.
How they wanted to die.
That was the big one, how they wanted to die. But most people have no idea how they want to die, so I got to make it up, which was...
But we also got some very interesting ways to die that people wanted. We're like, all right, so we tried the best way in their ghost appearance to show how they died.
Now, is that a question each of you has considered in the process of making this morbid tale? Like, did your mind go there and wonder yourself how you would like to die?
I've actually not thought about it too much. I know how I don't want to die. Like, I've thought about the worst ways to die. Like, drowning would suck. I've heard that actually being burned to death isn't the worst death in the world because eventually your nerve endings just burn off and you die of smoke inhalation. And so that's not so bad as drowning. So I think if it was drowning versus burning, I'd totally go with burning to death.
You guys are watching a horror game, so hopefully you like morbid conversations. But I think we should all say how we want to die. Kelly, how would you like to die?
An honorable death.
How would I like to die?
How would you like to die? Yeah.
You have a preference of any sort.
Or anyone can chip in that has one.
Gosh.
I want Ragnar Lothbrok to kill me.
So Leaf wants to go back in time.
To die.
It's almost like you don't want to say it to like manifest it somehow.
I don't know. I think Leaf wants his to manifest.
I want to die in battle, so I get to go to Valhalla.
And now the military has enlisted you. Congratulations, Leaf.
I have a friend who's a stunt guy and a mocap artist who has a very specific way he wants to die.
How does he want to die?
He says he wants to die saving a little girl from a burning building, he says.
So we can make that happen.
Specific.
You could probably easily make that happen.
That's smart.
I have a friend who just wants to die in space, so his whole life goal is to just make it up there so he can die.
What?
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Wow.
I'd want a quick death, but then I'd want, you know, like in all those serial killer movies, how they'll like display the body.
Oh.
Like, I want to be like some like crazy art display, and people walk in and they're just like,
You want to be that guy from the Signs of the Lambs? Who's
Yeah.
like hanging up there,
Yeah.
with the trails hanging out.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Thanks for that visual, Dave.
No, I want you to find out I've died because someone else is wearing me.
Oh God.
So we just dug up, back to Whispering Willows, we just dug up some corpses that aren't quite right. We're trying to find Flying Hawk's body, and we took a wrong turn. And so these are actually...
Oh God.
He sensed that this was an area because this is where all of his Indian brethren were buried, underneath this guest house here.
Oh, that's terrifying.
And you're slowly sinking.
And they're slowly pulling us down. And so we actually, if we stop moving forward, they're gonna pull us all the way down into the ground and we're gonna die. But, just made out. Even on here, we're gonna slowly start getting pulled down.
Death by a shark.
You like the ocean, Leaf, somewhat?
I do like the ocean.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Are you guys getting tired of my ocean jokes?
Wait until you
Pretty
how the shark
tired of
kills
it.
you.
Just the puns.
I do them on purpose.
Oh God! You told me about that. Leaf's just got these racked up. We discussed this. No,
They are a splash.
Whoa!
Wow.
Oh man.
Of a time.
One of the things we did that Leaf and I did a lot for our marketing stuff was write really bad jokes.
Oh yeah.
Really bad jokes.
Leaf and Kyle, you guys
We
should talk
had a
about
whole
social media.
series of we posted like a concept of every single ghost from the artist, and then to accompany it would be a little pun about the ghost.
Always very
So
bad.
if you go to our Facebook and you go to the album of
See.
all the ghosts, you can read a pun about every single ghost in the game.
And there's actually a ghost in the game somewhere. Can you find him, maybe? Who just spits out puns all day. So he's fun.
That was kind of a nod to ourselves, I guess,
Yeah.
because we loved making the puns so much.
You like really bad jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a big fan of bad jokes.
Riffraff, I believe the freezes are occurring on your side. Sorry, buddy. I think everyone else has got a good signal.
But I'm sure if you come back, isn't there, they can watch it tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. We archive every broadcast we do here, so if you check out Twin Galaxies live tomorrow, you'll be able to see it. You'll probably be able to watch it immediately after this broadcast, to be honest. What game out? Mr. Big King Graffiti. This is Whispering Willows, and it's out right now for the OUYA, and it'll be out on Steam
July
9th. Yeah.
And so we couldn't go into the well before. Flying Hawk had told us the guest house, so that's kind of where we'd be looking. But now we're going to face our fears, go into the well.
Not ever a good idea.
Not
In a
ever a
horror
good idea.
scenario.
Especially when you're the one pulling the rope
Oh.
and you're creaking back and forth as you're going down.
Can I just say how it blows my mind that it retains this detail at this big of a resolution?
Yeah. Right now we're playing on a ridiculously huge TV, and I guess that's part of... JB is one of the artists as well.
I designed that bucket.
He designed the bucket.
Yay.
Elena lives in a giant bucket.
But we did all of our art incredibly large resolution. So Flying Hawk thinks his body's closed. Should we believe him? We will. We'll check it out.
Trust that face.
I think Elena makes some poor decisions.
Yeah. We're just going to keep going deeper and
I
deeper.
would not lower myself into a well via bucket.
What if a ghost was telling you to?
No, still doesn't seal the deal for me.
And we actually just found Flying Hawk's body. So throughout the game, a lot of the gameplay we wanted kind of... one of the main things when we're designing the game is we wanted to help ghosts move on. And there's always this thought of ghosts being stuck in limbo. If you have something unresolved in life, you'll be stuck kind of in death, in this limbo in between life and death. And so this is one of the main ghosts. And each chapter predominantly features a ghost who's having trouble moving on, and you'll help them throughout it. And in doing so, they help you on your journey. So not only did Flying Hawk show us how to, astral project, he was kind of our tutorial guide, and he's now directing us to where we should go next, which is inside the actual mansion itself.
Cool.
Nice little recap.
Something we wanted to include in the game that we learned from the indie game Dear Esther. I guess you could call it a game if anybody's played that. The developers talked about moments of silence within the game after certain things were spoken, so that way the players could think about what was going on and have that space to digest the story and what was going on. So we wanted to include that. And so some people talk about how there's no run button for our game and stuff like that, but we eventually decided to leave that out because it allows you to soak in those details and to find the things that you wouldn't normally, and to immerse yourself and think
really,
about the story.
yeah, take in the art. You would have noticed if that she did run when we were going from that monster, but that wasn't a toggled run. That was she automatically ran in the game. The controls didn't change. And again, we did that on purpose. And as much as people may complain that they want to go faster, our game's not about racing through as fast as you can. Our game's about reading the story, looking at this art. Here we can even fly up here. We can see we have a lot of art. Even here's the full mansion that you can see right here from the outside.
We have so much art, even the programmer did some art.
Yeah, face poppies. Moments like that after particularly evocative scenes is really the perfect time for those moments.
You're spreading
Not
life.
for real.
Face
Have any of you guys experimented with astral projection?
Can't say I have.
I tried.
Maybe
I experimented, but I failed.
We try a lot all the time.
This girl failed.
We have astral project parties, actually. No, I'm just kidding.
I've dated a girl who's
Like
really into
kidding me.
yoga, but and she got into like meditation, but I don't think that was enough to
Astral
project her. So
I've read that people have done it, but I don't know if I'd believe everything.
Yeah,
that
you
I
wouldn't be
read.
able to prove
I like
them wrong.
reading about
Right.
it though.
Right, reading
Sounds
about
cool.
it is cool.
Anybody ever seen the movie Men Who Stare at Goats?
No, I
Oh my
watched
God.
God.
You guys need to see that film. It's great.
Oh, Kyle.
If you did, you would understand what I'm talking about as far as astral projection, but never
Yes,
mind.
guys.
I'm not going to take you guys too
forgot
far
about that
into the
one.
mansion itself because I want you to all experience it on your own. But I am going to give you just a glimpse of some of the opening rooms. There's some really cool art in here. That's actually a portrait of Wortham, his wife Martha, and his son Marcus.
I tried to make Marcus look.
Oh yeah, and Amanda, you want to talk about that? Amanda actually did the portrait for this.
Well, basically, while I was painting this portrait, I was simultaneously kind of designing Wortham's wife and Marcus. So I kind of just looked at pictures of people who I thought their personalities were like, and I kind of like mishmashed them together. And I don't know why I decided to make Marcus ginger. Maybe it's because people think gingers have no souls.
I think he looks like David. I think he looks way too much
A
like
bunch of
David.
people say he looks a lot like David, which was not intentional.
David's
in
my
the
son.
slightest. I think it was like
Yeah, David and Kyle,
subconscious.
there.
God, this is a beautiful. It's a beautiful game.
Thank you.
Look
Heart
at
of Tanks,
this,
actually, it is 100% about the experience. We really wanted players to be immersed and to really just have this experience that we wanted to provide, which is we think we've done a pretty good job of.
Yeah, I mean, check out the amount of detail. Even these little objects like the statues inside this case, you know, each one was hand painted. JB, did you do anything
I
in this room?
did most of those except for this bust and that
JB
dog.
did a lot of the objects that are in this case that we're looking at right here, and he spent just a crazy amount of detail. So when even though it's so tiny, there's so much, you know, it's just oozing detail.
I
and
remember
atmosphere.
I had a discussion with Cresso because he
Cresso's our programmer.
yeah, he didn't want me to he didn't feel like I needed to design something at like 300 DPI, but I did it anyway.
And look, it looks fantastic. So
Yay, Miyazaki fans.
It's crazy because it isn't like an episode of the Flintstones or like some other like AAA games where you'll see the same art assets being reused like over and over again. Like just the amount of individual assets you did is staggering.
We were able to do that because of how many awesome artists we had, and we needed to do that because we wanted to make each area of the mansion feel unique. You know, you didn't want the bedroom to feel like the kitchen or what have you, and so even the assets inside the guest house are different from like bedroom assets that are inside of the main mansion.
Did that gramophone just say it belongs in a museum?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you like that?
I
I've got
did
lots
that
of little
one.
reference. I'm glad you caught that. Somebody caught that.
Yeah.
It used to say, "I wonder what kind of old people music this plays." But change it to that.
And
Oh,
one of the
Take Down Mac made it.
one of the last things I'll show you. This is the main ghost you'll be helping in the second chapter. This is Darby, and you'll learn that. Well, actually, I'll let you figure out what you'll learn. But
he's Irish.
He's Wortham's best friend. That's the guy that owns the mansion that this entire game is kind of following.
I don't think I'm spoiling too much, but I know later on you do encounter a ghost dog. Is
Yes.
that based off a Kickstarter?
We had a dog back us.
Buford was Buford was Fairy's dog, and he was in the portrait.
That's right.
And so
that's right. That was the dog we saw in the
Yes,
portrait
that's
earlier.
correct.
Also.
Yeah, the
So
little white fluffy dog is
he's
Buford,
the
and the
cutest
ghost is also
asset
Buford,
in the game.
and he was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the funnest Kickstarter
I don't think
back
we
there,
have any
though.
other ghost animals, but yes, we do have a ghost dog who will help you through parts of the game. So.
He's not a hellhound.
No,
he's too cute
a little
for that.
puppy.
And except it is funny. The back half of him is all skeleton. So maybe once he died,
Oh, yeah,
will, like,
he's slightly
nod
morbid.
the
Yeah.
Do you
back
think he would gnaw on himself?
Whoa.
to death.
Whoa, stop blowing my mind.
Jason's
This is like too much for me to handle.
Chasing his tail.
Sugar the dog.
And here's the inventory. And so with that, we're going to end the demo. Go back to the main menu here.
I feel like it's more like a Scrappy-Doo ghost. little.
Well, that was beautiful. It was really cool getting the inside story from you guys as we traveled through those first couple of chapters. Anyone in the chat have any questions for the fine fellows of and lady of Nightlight Interactive and Whispering Willows, or any of the reps from OUYA?
And in a moment, we can show off more of the OUYA, kind of more of the front end stuff that you'll see here. You know, we can show you the store and all that cool stuff as well. But yeah, we're happy to do any Q&A if you guys have any questions.
Oh yeah, you got your cool live action trailer here too.
Yeah.
You can unmute it. Or
Leaf, do you want to talk about? Oh yeah. There you go. Leaf, do you want to talk about the live action trailer and kind of how that came to be?
Oh yeah, so there was a guy named Michael Johnson that I worked with in the past at a previous company.
This is coming to PC.
He did this awesome like live action into gameplay trailer with us. And so we got a hold of him for this one, and he was great. He found this amazing location that looked exactly like the mansion that we were in. It was awesome. It was really surreal for us to actually be on that location because it felt like we were in the game. And then he found an actress that dressed up and looked exactly like Elena too. That was like, we were all a little starstruck seeing this girl. It was like Elena was walking around in real life.
And before we knew it was her, we were like, if that's not the girl, we should get her to play Elena.
We're just all in the lobby like, that has to be her, or we're going to recruit her right now.
Yeah, we were gonna ask her to be in the commercial if it wasn't her, or the trailer.
Well, we still have time. Should we just keep going to chapter 2, or?
Sure.
Yeah.
Woo! Yay! More game content.
Might as well.
So how many chapters total do we have in the full version of the game?
We have 4 chapters throughout the total game. Yeah.
So you're halfway through the game?
No, we only played through the first chapter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We actually used to cut it off our demo at the end of the catacombs, and that was our demo. Half of the first chapter takes 45 minutes or so to play.
Gotcha.
especially if you're reading everything. I remember when we
Yeah,
visited you
it's
back
a
in
long
November. You know, I was just noticing. You know, you had some vases and other things in the background that you could kind of read some her fun commentary, and I feel like you've added so much since then.
I tried to. I really wanted to intone more of Elena's character because I mean, it's focused on her. She was our hero, and so it was really fun to work with her and kind of develop her personality a little bit more through that.
And Kyle, do you want to address Telebro, who's talking about something scary happening, and kind of more the direction we want to take instead of just straight get at you scary.
Telebro, if you actually remember, there was an instance in the catacombs when David or Elena was kind of running away from this kind of creepy ghost character, and it may not look that scary from your position, but when you are sitting around and you're in this dark mansion and you're immersed in the game, that moment becomes actually pretty frantic and scary. And also, we weren't really going for a jump out scare you game. That's like startling, and that doesn't really provide a lot of depth or content to anything. Like if I'm not a fan of just a lot of scary movies these days are suspense or thriller or what have you, and it's just scary things popping out of somewhere, and it's boring and it doesn't really.
I don't want to say it's boring, but overall it's more of a cheap way to get a reaction out of you.
So, yeah.
And we wanted to create a deeper experience with our game, and so there will be some scary stuff. And overall, the atmosphere is scary. The stories that you'll read are scary, but it's not just like Slender, or it's just like he's jumping out at you and you're going to scream. You're not going to probably scream while playing this game. It's a different kind of horror game. It's more of a story-focused horror game.
I scream every time that dude comes out in the catacombs.
There's
I think that's scary.
Yeah.
I don't get scared.
Oh, exactly. That was fun.
That was fun.
This is the first time that I've got to see this game hands-on.
That's my favorite
up
portrait.
close. This looks great.
Right now we're by a portrait of two of my good friends right here. They wanted to have a very loving, almost like their boyfriend's picture to go. Whatever people want. This is actually Darby's crazy wife right here. And she went crazy because, well, we'll find out right now. Darby's murderer was never found. And so this is probably the reason why she died, just because she was so psychologically screwed from it.
Oh no, she got murdered.
Oh, just kidding. She got murdered.
Yeah,
but
she got murdered.
I guess then this was still her unresolved thing, is that she never found out who murdered her husband. And she can't rest until he's found. Well, literally she cannot. She's been a ghost for.
Now, mostly being invested on the artistic side, I have to commend you guys with assembling the plot and the character storylines, because when I actually got through that stuff, that was some intense, like,
there's Kyle right down there,
stuff.
Kyle's portrait.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Because I'm mostly on art, so I don't see what you're plotting through.
Right.
So
Nobody does.
that was insane.
Thanks. It was actually fun rewriting it, because we ran into a point where we just didn't have any more funding, and so we needed to cut some content. And the best way to do that is story, and I was unhappy about it. And but I went through it because we had 5 chapters initially, and I went through it, and I cut down the fat, and I kind of just retained the story that I was trying to tell, and changed a little bit around about it. But it helped me re-examine everything that I'd done like half a year before.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool, because it helped me intone a lot more of the themes and the characterization, and just make for a more fully realized story and plot.
So my question to you actually right now, Kyle, is how many shitty first drafts have you done before you got to the one that you were okay with?
None of them were shitty. None of them
for
were
this
shitty.
game?
Yeah, before you got to
the thing is, there was never any first. I mean, a lot of the characters when we were first, I learned so much creating this game about making characters and keeping them for other people to find information about them and stuff. So my initial drafts of our characters and our stories sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked. It was on like Facebook forums at first, and then if you went back and looked at the initial stuff on Basecamp, you'd be like, oh my god, like what is this?
Yeah.
But so I don't know, probably just about 1.5 bad drafts.
Yeah.
But it really picked up from there.
Yeah, because you could see the process of how tightened up you put the story towards the end of this process. So that was really cool.
Well, thank you.
Amanda, would you like to answer the question about the art a couple up?
Yeah, were there other games that you took reference from?
For the art style, I actually, when I was creating the assets that I made, I was thinking a lot about Castlevania and how everything in Castlevania is like ridiculously detailed, and it's one of my favorite like side-scrolling games, because I just play through just to get to more art, and I wanted to make assets that are reminiscent of that you'd want to keep playing the game just so you can see more of the assets, and like as the rooms change it gets more interesting. So that was my personal inspiration. I'm sure other artists use a lot of different inspiration.
This is kind of a random one, but we actually took inspiration from a Boy and His Blob, the Wii one. It had a very kind of painterly art style, and that was actually one of the final decisions as we were exploring all these different styles.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second, because the commercial's going to
Galaxies.
one. Yeah, so you were saying.
Yeah, a Boy and His Blob though, and that was one of them. Castlevania was another one. Just looking at a lot of these games with old mansions. Oh, another one, Clock Tower. If any of you guys play Clock Tower,
yeah.
It's an old
PS1, right?
Yeah, PS1 game. The first one.
For me personally, when I was coming up with ghost designs way early on, like pre-production for the ghosts and stuff, I was like listening to a lot of really creepy stories and like reading some creepy stories and stuff, and just kind of thinking of like ghosts that would come into my mind while I was reading those stories, and also like the writing that Kyle was giving us at the time for the characters and integrating those. So I drew a lot of really creepy things, creepy ghost concepts.
Someone asked if the hair was difficult to animate, and yeah, that probably took as long as a ton of other animations combined. The animators really, but he really had the vision in mind. I don't know if you guys were here when I said before, but
yeah, I think
his name is Rob Fendler, and he was really just trying to make it look like she's almost underwater with the flowing hair.
But he did an amazing job, and it was very worth the time that it took.
Yeah.
So right here, where can we go? We see, if you notice carefully, you can see some sparkly little blue things down there, which is usually indicated a hole that you can astrally project through. We can't get past it, but if we move it, now there's a clean hole for us to go through. Sure your brightness wasn't just like super.
I'm positive.
And look, it's a key.
And it's an object you can possess. Aha.
Ah. And so we can actually fly around as this key right now. And
scare people.
at one point we had a ton of other mechanics. One was, it was actually kind of fun one. You could actually rotate objects that you had, and we had puzzles where you'd have to navigate through rotating the object as you went, but you know, certain things got cut out at certain points. We also had another one of the biggest gameplay things that we cut. If you notice in the guest house, we actually had windows that opened, and that initially had to do with the game design. They would, every time there's light, either moonlight or sunlight, the spirit couldn't get past it. And so one way the spirit could get past it is if you go as a human and close the windows, and then the ghost can get past it. It just made things really complicated though, because light is so, it's not very definitive. And it's like, okay, well, can the ghost go through this light? Can the ghost go through this light?
Oh,
and
so setting up the rules.
It made it very difficult when establishing kind of the rules of our game.
Very cool.
But because why not? We left in that you can open the windows in that guest house.
One of the things that you really, really, really have to be careful of when making a game is establishing those rules. And it can be hard to, one of the things you have to do is make sure you keep your game designers and your programmers in a certain area so that they don't stray too far from your initial concept, because they just want to fly away and do crazy stuff. But you have to make sure, because programming is a very, very, very big resource, and a lot of money and time goes into that. And so you have to make sure, especially for indies like us who are doing it for free. So you have to make sure that the features that you're implementing and using are going to be worthwhile, as far as being, you know, as far as they work with your game, and that they're going to be used more than once. So we had a lot of little, what we called one-off game mechanics that we just scrapped and decided not to use because it was not feasible from a financial perspective.
Gotcha. And someone pointed out the lack of chat on our main page. Yes, should have brought that up earlier. I totally didn't mean to ignore that. There's something going on with our website. So if you want to be chatting, I know quite a number of you are probably just watching it as if it were TV right now. You're going to have to go to our Twitch channel, which would be twitch.tv/TwinGalaxiesLive, and chat from there. We apologize, this rarely happens, but the web designer's in Dubai right now, and a little out of touch for that reason.
Telebro mentioned how Elena goes dead almost as when you're astral projecting. That was really something we wanted to do. We wanted to make her look completely lifeless because, right, it's like she's astral projecting her spirit, and so she's almost just kind of like this idle husk that's just, you know, kind of flowing as her spirit is outside of her body. And then she sucks it back in.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Leaf's cracking jokes in chat. He's so many things he's on our team.
Rafraf, what do you want to know about the game?
Part of what we do with our social media and Leaf's best at is just making. We always just have, as we said, lame puns and also just lame jokes that we do. I don't think they're lame. They're really funny.
The Facebook page is full of them. You just.
All right, can you guys get this Easter egg right here?
Speaking of jokes.
All right, how about this one? How about this one?
What happened there?
Get it? Bad dad jokes.
You guys can
everywhere in
slap
this
me if
game.
you see me in person sometime. Please don't, though.
Again, just pointing out how freaking awesome this art is. I mean, look at the detail on all these animals. We'll bring our spotlight ghost right here so you can see. even like check out this deer's head. Stuffing is like coming out of its eye. It's just really, really cool.
Let's go over to Mr. Bison.
You want to check out the bison?
He's cool. Well, you got to check him out in Elena. Inspect.
Oh, okay. We'll go back to the bison in a second. Yeah, everyone, tell your favorite ghost jokes in chat. Maybe we'll feature one on our Facebook page sometime in the next week. Leaf's always needs good ghost jokes to tell.
Oh yeah. This is another one of our backers. Actually, this is, I believe, the sister of a backer. So that was fun. And I actually took her name. If you know any writers, they're gonna steal stuff from you. Like the two, I stole that name from two girls, two Japanese girls I know. Like one of them's their middle name, and the other one's last name, and they have no idea.
Luckily, he didn't steal their
full name.
You didn't steal girlfriends, but
no.
No. He just stole the
Writers don't
girlfriend's
steal
name.
physical things.
Just
conceptual
ideas.
things.
Yeah.
This bison doesn't have a.
It looks like the art is definitely a big hit with the folk at home.
That's good, and we spent a long time on all the audio as well. So for you guys, when you play it at home, that's probably one thing. I don't know how well you can hear right now, but check out the music and the sound effects. Really, just tons of eerie, atmospheric stuff going on this entire time, and that really builds the atmosphere to immerse you.
Yeah, one of the very big highlights that we've been getting a lot of compliments on is our music and sound design, and both our composer Steve Goldshine, who worked as an assistant composer for Red vs. Blue. He's amazing, and he majors actually in game compositions. So he's really tailored to that. And Kat Arthur, who we actually went to school with, also in Chico. She's just amazing at sound design. And Riveting, you did hear Red vs. Blue. He's our composer is an assistant composer for Red vs. Blue.
We were actually one of the first places we showed our game off at was RTX, which is the Rooster Teeth convention, and that happens. Experience. Oh, Rooster Teeth Experience. Yeah. I like it. And that was one of the first places we showed it. And so actually everyone. Wow,
yeah,
that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
all the team that's here right now, we all went that year. So.
And Matt, he's in chat.
Too,
yeah.
Mr. Matt.
And Matt, who's actually in chat right now. Matt, give a shout out.
Is he still there?
He's Mr. Matthew in chat.
There you go.
There he is. Mr. Matthew.
Ravinia, you should check out RTX. It's really fun. Right now, it's still a pretty small conference. It was how many people were there? 3,000? I don't know.
It was, I don't know, a ton though.
There were a lot of people, but it's not the size of GDC or E3 or anything like that. So it's a little bit more intimate. You get a little bit more time with the developers and things like that. We got to play with like an Oculus Rift. There's so much cosplay going on there. It was really cool. It was a fun con.
We just picked up a letter from Wortham to Jeremiah Mode. We'll read this one for you guys. If I can find it. Oh my gosh. We've picked up a lot of notes as I've been playing. Jeremiah. Actually, Cal, why don't you read it?
Jeremiah, I have sent this letter in secret. I need your help, as well as your silence. Darby O'Halloran has died by my hand. His madness has overtaken his mind. Though he was my best and longest friend, I cannot bring myself to handle his corpse. And I have a room and a casket in the catacombs that I want you to place his body in. I shall visit it later. I also ask that you keep the grave unmarked. You are the only one I can trust with this task, Jeremiah. I once again request your silence on this matter. And Wortham Willows totally killed that guy after he helped him out. Because...
What a dick.
Leaf, do you want to talk about interns? Art interns?
We love interns.
Yeah.
And before you do, I'm just going to point, sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting, but We are, as the graphics on our page are advertising, going to be giving away an OUYA courtesy of OUYA.
Oh, yeah!
So everyone in the chat right now, I hope you were paying attention because it's going to be trivia question based.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but do continue.
Cool. Well, whenever you want to leave enough time for the trivia,
You want to tell them trivia about that? Here's a little trivia, or something nobody knows. This this little tube thing, that is a holder for like blueprints and stuff. And when people first inspected it, it said leathery tube. And I didn't even think about the fact that sounds
very phallic.
Very phallic.
Leathery tube.
But people told me, and I was like, I see that.
Oh yeah, we were discussing
That's actually a good example of how we originally had that to be another puzzle in the game, and it didn't end up working out. And so that's kind of its guest appearance there. You know, still reusing that art asset, but that used to have a whole puzzle with that leathery tube. So, some of you guys may have seen some red eyes glowing, and we're seeing our amulet. And here's one of those creatures.
Ugh.
I don't want to say in the flesh because it's not necessarily in the flesh.
So this is actually another rare instance in which you can see a ghost creature character type thing without astral projecting.
And do you want to explain why?
Yeah, it's because they're in the light, and when they're in the light, there's a little bit of an effect there that allows them to be seen. It's much more of a gameplay decision than it was story, because we don't include that with all the ghost characters or anything like that.
And right now we can see it because we're the ghost. So what I'm doing right now is I'm following it because I want to wait for the timing so we can sneak past this guy. So we're going to wait a little bit. We're going to let him do one more round of his creeping past us. And then we're going to sneak past as Elena. So I can see it now as Elena because he's in this light right now.
MK Ultra, I think Jen would very, very, very much agree with you.
Yes.
She actually asked if we could kill it with fire earlier. So
it's the best way to kill things.
Go, go, go. I don't want to run into it. Okay. Go, go, go. And I can't see it right now, so it's kind of scary because I have no idea where it is.
Nice and done.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
Nice.
I made it.
That's very interesting.
So we had to sneak past it without being able to see it. So we'll say goodbye to the bear.
Bye,
goodbye.
bear.
Say goodbye
bye,
to the fox.
Bye, deers.
What's this?
Bye, horse statue.
Is that a horse?
No, that's a
I think that's a cow.
That's
That's
a
a cow.
That's not a cow, that's a steer.
A steer.
So what was the inspiration
steer,
for
yeah.
the spider creature? Because I remember a long time ago that was obviously a different ghost encounter, and I know the spider also wasn't in the catacombs a while back. So I mean, besides creepy spider things being scary, was there a...
That's literally it. We wanted to find the creepiest, scariest, nasty little thing, and it obviously works.
That beats out the facehugger, and I'm a big alien.
There's a little more to it than that.
Yeah,
in addition to wanting some extra scary creatures through the game, we also wanted something that functioned for gameplay. And so with that creature, we were able to create several different puzzles throughout the game involving those creatures. They're small, so they can walk, you'll see later, on the ceilings, on the walls, on the ground, everywhere. And there's different puzzles kind of revolving around them.
And contextually, as far as the story goes, Wortham actually, near the end of his life, was kind of experimenting more with kind of like the occult and things like that. And so those little creatures are actually a result of his experiment, kind of a little bit severing, like they might have a little bit of Wortham in them, like parts of his soul.
We're not talking about his babies.
Yes,
but
no,
well,
he didn't.
I guess
He was too old for that. He was too old for that.
So we're going to show Darby this letter basically saying to dispose of his body. And so this is going to shock him. Wortham was his best friend. Why would his best friend be disposing of his body?
Doesn't believe it.
And so this is the loyal friend. That's kind of the role he serves.
You like that?
While you're trying to poison, that's kind of alluding, foreshadowing.
Good use of the word foreshadowing.
He doesn't want to talk about it, though. He doesn't want to admit. So he says, go talk to my wife. Leave me alone. Are there any questions we could be answering right now?
And again, guys, if you're on our main site and worried about not being able to answer your questions because the chat disappeared, try to log into our Twitch page, twitch.tv/TwinGalaxiesLive, and that's where you can do it. Thank you, Moobot. No, wait, no, that's wrong. There we go. Thank you, Twin Galaxies Live.
So we're going to show her the letter, and she's going to reveal that she met with someone, or she saw someone. Actually, I just totally forgot what she was saying. Let's try that again. There was one other that knew of Wortham's deed. Before I met my end, I was to have a secret meeting with him. The tool shed at 4 o'clock in the morning. He was going to tell me everything. Oh, what was he going to tell her?
Probably that he likes her.
Probably. She's kind of crazy, but we all like the crazy girls, right?
Well, you know what they say, crazy in the head, they'll stab you in the face.
Really? Really now?
Well played.
Amazing.
I'll take a brief couple minutes if people want to ask questions here. Again, you can go to twitch.tv/TwinGalaxiesLive if you want to join the chat here today.
We love questions.
Any questions about the team, for OUYA, whatever you want.
That would be awesome, Kuragari.
Is that a Evil Dead reference?
Oh yeah.
You're full of all the references.
Groove it.
There's definitely a lot we can do. There's a ton of different game, movie, whatever references that we've tried to put in here. As an indie studio, we have kind of less restrictions.
We get to do whatever we want.
Well, what I know it's very early because you've just finished up this game, but what is in the pipeline for Nightlight Interactive?
Well, we've already actually started designing the second game. Something we learned in school is, well, I guess going back, one of the big things we did with Whisk and Willows that we wish we had done more of is kind of the pre-production planning phases. And I wish we would have spent more time kind of laying out all the details. And there was various reasons why we kind of rushed. There was just good opportunities like the OUYA Create contest, which was creating a game, in 10 days. But with our next game, we're really planning it out. So we've created a paper prototype, and we can actually play the majority of our new game on paper right now, which is kind of cool. And then we're just refining everything to make sure the gameplay is going to be super smooth. And then once we get it really good, we're going to make a digital copy of it. So
very cool.
You had Sunday night Skype calls?
Yep.
Wow.
Back in the beginning, David used to run a Sunday night Skype call every week where everyone on the team would get into one queue.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then, and then we just got too many people on our team, and so we'd had Skype calls of like 15 people, and we'd call, and it would just be like boop 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 boop, like every single face, and it got kind of chaotic, and so we had to change up.
And it lasted like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, it started off. It was like
you had to go over
it was like 20 minutes.
Everybody say your stuff really fast. Write it, go.
Yeah.
All right, go. Program and go.
There like
5 people would have feedback. It was exciting.
Are you guys supporting Linux on Steam?
Yes. We will.
Okay.
We'll be
And on our
supporting
website.
PC, Mac, and Linux, all on Steam, and all on the version from our website right now if you download from there.
Very cool.
So we were supposed to meet this guy, or she was supposed to meet him 4 o'clock. So what do? We can actually interact with the clock here.
Good old Gremlins trick.
And close enough to 4 o'clock, right? We hear a little ding, and now our pendant is glowing. And this fine gentleman was hung and bound.
I think it was bound first.
Bound and then hung, yeah. And so he's talking about a grave he dug for Darby. Another reason why we kind of rushed through our pre-production was because right after we were on the OUYA Create contest, we actually won one of the categories that they had, and then we did fairly well in a few other categories. That was kind of our first introduction to OUYA, and after that, we kind of wanted to ride that momentum, and so we actually launched a Kickstarter, and we did really well on the Kickstarter, and the game got funded. We got way over the goal we had, and that's part of the reason why we were able to start developing the actual game.
Very cool.
Oh my god.
Most impressive.
Amazing.
That's from Facebook.
Oh, we had that.
You remembered all of it?
Of course.
Wow.
If you're wondering how a ghost gave her a key, like a physical key, it's magic. Don't worry about it.
Stop asking questions about a science fiction horror game.
It's like that Bruce Willis speech in Looper, Sue Looper,
Yes.
where they were trying to discuss like the problems with time travel, and he's like, "Don't think about it."
Oh, yeah.
Which basically tells the audience not to worry about it.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do with that. It's so hard to handle certain things. Like, what if I became my grandpa? Why do you want to think about that? That's gross. Like, I don't know.
Riveting wants to know, how much money were you asking for, and how much did you get?
We were asking for 15,000, and I think we got almost 21,000. Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Which, from an unknown studio, no one had ever heard of us before. We literally, just us and our friends, pretty much. That was really incredible. To be able to get that much money just from complete strangers. It started off, as Kickstarters usually do, with just friends and family, and then it really turned into just like this overwhelming amount of random people that started helping us with our project.
One of the things that really helps get a project funded on Kickstarter is actually having work to show that you've already invested some of your time. Yeah, a lot of people seem to think that they can just put up their idea on Kickstarter and then it'll get funded. But you really need to actually show your passion for that and produce something. Like, we already had a demo, right? When we launched for Kickstarter, we had a demo for people to play.
Nothing like this.
Nothing. The art. I mean,
was there even animation? Very rough animation.
There was tiny bits of story, tiny bits of animation, art, and game, but it was enough to give people our concept and show them what we were about and what we were going to produce.
Hey, Ketchup Goddess, how's it going?
Hey,
She's actually
Ketchup
Ketchup
Goddess.
Goddess is another one of our artists.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ketchup
cool.
Goddess
Hi.
is, I don't know.
She designed Elena, I believe.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She did the original Elena design. We, after she did it in, I guess, probably Photoshop, we redid her in Flash so that we could do the animation easier. But she did all the original illustrations for Elena, all the turns. We have this nice turn that some people just want to turn back and forth to see how nice it looks.
Hey, you're here with us in spirit.
spirit.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Get it.
Ahead of me.
Victory lap.
Get it.
I liked how you guys all said that. Like, practicing in unison.
Here's another example of telling a story through the art. Like, what happened here? It's
gross.
just blood smeared all over.
Blood and scratches.
That shit nasty.
So we're actually, yes, we are back in the catacombs. We are needing to find where Darby was buried. And there was a door that, if you guys remember, was locked before. It's this one with the nice trail of blood smeared over to it. And there we go, the bloody key. So there's not a lot of backtracking in the game. There are a few places where you'll backtrack.
Woo.
And here's a nice little shrine. I don't know how the candles have stayed on over these years past a locked door, but you know, without them, how could she see this shirt right here? So she's gonna take a piece of his shirt back.
Oh man.
It's pretty gnarly. The game might not always appear to have the kind of gory content there, and we didn't want to shove it in people's faces and make it like, look at all this blood and guts. So we wanted it to be there and for people to understand it and see it if that's what they're looking for, but we didn't want that to be at the forefront of our game.
Yeah,
Mr. Matthew actually pointed out something interesting. Our programmer was able to contribute a little bit of the art. He had done a game many years before, and he said, "Oh, I have the perfect flame for your game." And so his contribution to the art is this flame animation. It's actually stolen from his first game, but I guess not stolen. He very kindly let us use it. So there's some trivia right there.
It's like the story of a lot of gods.
So I'm just going to wrap up in a second. I'll go back to Darby, and then I think I'm going to end it there so we can do a little Q&A, and we can do some of this trivia. If you are new to joining this session, OUYA very generously donated an OUYA that's console with Whispering Willows on it. So that's a $100 value that they're going to be donating. We'll ship it out to you, and we'll get your contact info. And then for 5 other people on the stream right now, we're going to be giving away copies of Whispering Willows for both OUYA and Steam. You'll get every version ever made.
Cool. So you guys, if you're watching from our site, you need to go, because this will be trivia based, you're going to need to go to the Twitch page so that you can access the chat. All right.
Yes, $115 value if you're including tax, I guess. Oh no, that's $15 for the game. or with tax.
Guys, give yourself value.
Wait,
taxes are that bad.
Isn't it $99? So wouldn't it be $113.99?
Well, that's
$95.
$90.
Yes, the official
OUYA.
The actual OUYA.
Do you want to bring me back that console? We'll hold it up.
Not one of the knockoffs.
No, not
the whole company will be.
It's just a small box.
Really hard trivia question.
How do you spell?
This is what you guys will be doing the trivia to win.
Amazing.
Inside, you get the console, the controller, HDMI cable, power cable. And it's actually ouya.tv, not ouya.com. We'll take you there. And then you'll get our game preloaded on the console for you.
Awesome.
And then 5 other people will be getting the game on every single platform. And so if you have an OUYA already, you can play it on there.
Very cool.
So I'll get us right back inside the mansion, and then we'll call it a day. There you go, ouya.tv. Just get this save. The game auto saves. It actually saves when you pick up key items and then when you transition through screens. So don't have to worry about forgetting to save. And I guess when you get the game or check it out later, you'll be able to see what happens with this bloody shirt.
That mansion.
All right, guys. Well, I will leave it to you guys to come up with the trivia questions.
Should we mute our mics then?
Muting our mics, yeah.
We're gonna take 2 minutes here to discuss some trivia questions. We'll
Yeah,
be
and
right
you
back
guys
with
at home, type your questions.
Are you sure it's muted? It should be red.
Oh, darn it!
But we didn't say the name.
Yeah, this is true.
Mute.
All right.
All right, guys.
Did it.
All right,
So
we're
the-
back. We're gonna have to power through these.
The first 5 questions are going to be for the codes for the game. And it's going to be the first person that answers correctly.
No repeats.
No repeats. First question, what is the name of the first ghost that you meet? And there's like a there's a delay. So they
Right.
won't see it until a little bit.
Your
Mom.
Nope.
Nope.
Sadly, no.
My mom is in the
Close.
game, but she is not the first one you meet.
It's true, actually.
This guy is a Native American. He has a cool mask on with antlers.
Close singularity.
Sorry,
No.
singularity.
We might just have to.
It's not be too hard.
We might just have to skip it.
I can come up from the fly. Nope. That's close.
That's
Oh my god, guys.
Sarah, he's male. He's a male
5 more
ghost.
seconds. 4, 3,
Sure.
2,
Oh
1.
my god, you guys are not going to win this.
All right.
Uh-oh.
All right. We'll think
Well-
about that.
Antler face.
No, not antler face.
All right. What's the next question?
What college did this dev team go to?
And if you know us, you can't answer.
It's not White Buffalo. Dev.
Please
God,
with
guys.
squirrel. Please with squirrel.
It's not Geronimo.
Wait, someone.
No.
Oh, no.
Matt.
That was Matt.
Let's
Oh.
go.
Chico College. Here we
yeah,
go.
heart
Heart
attack.
attack.
Tang.
There it is.
Flying.
So that was for a code for the game.
Good job. That
So
is
close,
one on
Sanger
copy
Banger.
game.
So close.
How
And it-
old is... Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think if someone gets one of the questions right, they should be able to win the OUYA also.
Oh,
if,
shoot. For this next one?
I don't want to like exclude someone that wins the game from getting the OUYA. So
You're giving away 5 OUYAs?
no.
Oh.
Surprise.
What?
Why can't
Yeah.
you play
Heart of Tanks, you'll be able to play it for PC, Mac, Linux, and OUYA. It'll be for all. You'll get all 4 copies.
Now, you guys, we might have to lead our next show in with more trivia questions because there's only a minute left. So don't worry, don't rush through it. But let's do the next question. How old is Elena?
1 minute remaining.
Oh.
18, 13,
Heart of Tank.
250.
Close.
Heart
Guru.
Tanks can't win again.
All right.
Is it Ravidian?
I
Yep.
guess so.
Ravidian.
Ravidian.
What about Heart of Tank?
It is. It's 13.
Heart of Tank's
You
already
already
won.
won.
Oh.
All right, you
Just
also
showing
get a
off.
copy of the game.
Dogging.
What was the first event that this game was shown at?
The first event.
Oh.
No.
Heart of
That's a
Tanks.
good guess. There you go.
Wow.
Heart of Tanks, you can't.
It's one of the
No.
ones.
Attention.
Just keep going.
The answer's been said, so who's gonna say it again?
No.
No.
That is awesome.
No,
At
it's
least
already
no one
been
said you're
said.
Just throw every single acronym out there.
Oh my God, guys.
10 seconds
All right, we
remaining.
have 10 seconds, guys. More
never
winners
do
when we
that
come back in 10 minutes. You have to stick around. All right.
Game over.
So we're gonna do.
Hey guys, welcome to Twin Galaxies Live. I'm Whoop Dragon Knight, and this is Elite League Live, where we play League of Legends for 2 hours. I just had a spider on me, holy crap.
By directly, if you mean plugging it directly into my nervous system.
Got lawnmower man stuff going on.
Not